I've written 5 books, but my favourite book by far is called Passage to Inis Mór. There are a few poems in it. I didn't write them for the book, but they just happened to fit in there. And one is called A Dream of Inis Mór. The book is about a young man who's totally lost his, I'm saying young, he's 38 years of age, born in Ireland, brought up in Australia from the age of 7 or 8. And he's totally lost his way. He's drinking too much, snorting a bit of coke, and he's just totally lost his way. He's a yuppie, his ego's out of control. He's an advertising executive. His wife's left him, taking their young son, Tristan, back to Brittany in France with her. And he's left in Sydney, drinking too much and wrecking his life. And now he's getting poetic voices in his mind telling him to return to Inis Mór. It baffles him because he hasn't the slightest interest in Ireland or Inis Mór. He hasn't been there since he was a child. But the voices keep on, and he gets to a point where his business affairs are collapsing, he's losing his house, and he's considering suicide. And this poetry starts to enter his thoughts, and it frightens him in a way, but eventually he returns to Ireland, driven by these voices. So it goes, I have known the longing, known that I was lost. I knew it as a child before the open door. I knew it as a stranger unto the foreign shore. That feeling left me only when the name came Inis Mór. It brought with it a feeling, a calling from my soul, a place I'd ever feared. I'd been so long alone. It carried with it sorrow, the opening of some door. When I heard the name, I knew an angel stood on Inis Mór. I lost my way long years ago. I faltered and I strayed. I turned away from those I loved. These choices I have made. And now at night I wonder, could I return once more? Could I return to what I was by the cliffs at Inis Mór? Night waves turning seeking, a half-open dark door, whispered lost memories from that hard broken shore. Black waves rolling over me, dark down from the deep. Where lies my purpose? Where will I sleep? Where will I sleep? Where will I sleep? It's a strange thing, some writers, and I'm one of them, have no idea where the words come from, no idea where the books come from. We just sit down and write and write and write and write. I don't want to put a name to that. I mean, I know there are names for it, but they never seem to cover what it is. It's, and I'm not trying to be new agey or mystical or special or anything like that. I'm not, I'm just an ordinary guy who writes. But I get overtaken by the words and I have to get them down, I have to write them. And people talk about writer's block. I have no idea what it means, But, the Greeks believed that the 7 daughters of Zeus, who were named the Muses, they entered artists of all sorts, writers and poets and dancers and sculptors and painters, and took them over, as it were, and expressed something through them. And I'll tell you, there is something in that. I don't understand that, but there's something in that. I read some of my manuscripts that I haven't looked at, or I find them in a box somewhere, and I have no idea who wrote them until it becomes obvious by the style of writing that I did. So again, I'm not trying to be special or anything. It's just what happens to me, and I know it happens to other writers. I've spoken to some, and I've read of some writers who talk about that. So, good to talk, and I'll be doing another blog tomorrow.